Hi there, today I'm going to be going through Lab9, which is accessing iSCSI storage with the objective of configuring access to an iSCSI data store. There's two activities here: adding a VM kernel port group to a standard switch, and then configuring the iSCSI software adapter and connecting it to the storage, as well as doing a few things within your storage to set this up once you have that first two activities done. VM kernel interfaces, which we're going to use, provide your network connectivity to the host, which basically allows for the traffic to connect and talk over. So we're going to get started, which we already have. We've opened up the your vSphere, and then go into my client virtual machine, because that has my NetApp on-command system manager as well as access to the vSphere environment. So I enter in the IP address for my vCenter server. Once that has taken its time to load, we then want to go into the hosting clusters view, which is either on the left or in the middle there of the main page. You want to select the host that you want to be working with, and then click on the Manage tab up the top. As you can see, we're already in the right place, and then the networking tab below that. You then want to select the virtual switches, and here I can see my virtual switches, which I already have set up in my environment. There's the network management switch and connection, and switch 1 is my IP storage that I already have set up. So we're going to basically create this again for the task. So we go in and click the Add. We want to select VM kernel network adapter. Move on. In here, you want to create a new standard switch for this, but because I've got the switch set up, I'll select my existing switch 1. You want your own switch for this. Basically, just give it a name such as your IP storage or iSCSI storage or whatever, just so you know when you're configuring. Once that's done, we next and move on, and here we use a static IP address. Now this is important because you need to be on the same subnet as what the storage is to be able to communicate. So in here I want my similar subnet to what I already have, and I'll just use a random number 11 at the end. Subnet mask 255.255.255, and move on. So here you can review it and then finish. I've created it just to show you, so once that refreshes, should see the new VM kernel up the top there. Just expand that to double check the IP addresses there. Yep, so that's all good. So that's that first activity done basically. The next activity that we'll move on to is configuring the iSCSI software adapter, but I'll just remove that VM kernel network adapter that I just created first, just so it doesn't cause conflict or anything. But now moving on, we'll go into the storage tab just at the top there next to networking. We want storage adapters, and there is a so that is my iSCSI storage adapter already set up, and the little plus there that around is the button that you would click to create a new iSCSI storage adapter. I can't do this because mine's already created, but you would just do that and then create that basically and go through there. Once that's created, as you can see down the bottom, we want to go into the properties pane. Here you can see the status, which is enabled, and then next to general you want to click edit. This iSCSI name is important to note down or copy because we need it when configuring access on the vSIM storage side of things, so copy that just for the meantime. Back in the adapter details pane down the bottom again, we want to click on the network port binding tab. We want to click the add button there again, and this is where we would select the IP storage VM kernel adapter that we've just created. However, I can't do this because mine's gone now, but in there the IP storage would show up just like that does. after this, in the same place, you want to click on the targets tab, and this is where you add the IP address of your target storage. So again, that's the same subnet as what you created the VM kernel adapter to be on. Mine's just there showing right now. Once we've done this, we want to move off and go into the storage NetApp side of things, but the rescan storage screen right there you would do once we've done these next few tasks. So in the NetApp storage console on Command System Manager, we need to make sure that iSCSI is licensed first. So if this isn't already so, get an iSCSI license, which we get off our course Moodle page, and then you'd basically just enter that when you first open it up, and there you can see the iSCSI service is running. So if that wasn't running, you'd want to start that and run it. So once that's set up, we go into our LUNs, and we need to create a new LUN, which I'll quickly go through the create LUN wizard here. Give it an identifying name so you can remember which one it is. In the type, we'll go and select VMware, and then I'll just give it a size of 1 GB for the testing purposes. Thin provisions, definitely. We want to create a new volume with this as well, and just make sure that you're in the right aggregate for your storage. And then in here is the important part, adding an initiator group. So enter a name for that and select VMware for the operating system. This initiator's next part is where you paste in the IQN name from the VMware, which we copied down before, so that you'd want to put that in there. So I'll go back and quickly show you where we got that. And the properties of the iSCSI adapter, the iSCSI name is what you would put in there right now, okay, and then we would create that. But I'm just going to cancel to finish that. You'd want to map it before you move on, and so you'd tick that box in next, obviously, and then review and finish, but I'll cancel again just because I already have that set up. Once that's done, you would refresh and you'll see the new LUN sitting there. You can also click on the initiator groups down the bottom, and you'll see the initiator groups. Back in the VMware vSphere, we'll click on paths, and here are the LUNs here is my LUNs, but you would have your LUN visible that you've just hopefully connected to, as well as the device. There you can see my NetApp iSCSI disks available. If this isn't the case, you would need to go back and do the rescan storage up the top like I showed earlier on. One of the tasks later on is to configure a data store with the iSCSI storage that you've set up. So in the storage tab on the left pane, as you can see that we're in now, you'd go into the data stores, and here you can see my data stores connected up to the storage currently, but to create a new one, would click on the data center above. Just on the get started page, you can scroll down and add a data store, and this allows you to basically access that storage capability. So we want a VMFS data store. You'd select the host that you want access to this storage. In here you would see the NetApp LUNs that you've basically set up with the storage amount in there, but they aren't there because I've got mine all used up. So that would conclude the lab for now. Just thanks for watching, and I hope this helps out a little bit, because I did have a few issues at the start where my access to my LUNs on my storage wasn't showing up. I hope that configuring the VM kernel port adapters and the iSCSI storage helped. Cheers.